Hi guys, today is November 30th, 2019 at 56 minutes past 11 in the evening over here in the UK. And you'll remember a couple of days ago I made a video about this Google Doodle and how the building, although it isn't the White House or the Parliament building, I thought it could possibly have connections to that building. When flipped upside down, the green grass becomes a toxic sky, the green trees become pillars of smoke coming up out of and around the building, suggesting an event at Buckingham Palace and around London potentially. Um, I had the 200 down here flipped upside down. It looked more like 007, which is obviously another British reference. The three characters over here in the picture frames, we've got the horse in pageantry, which is a very English thing, the frilly collar, another English thing, Tudors, and the wearing the crown, reference to the Queen, is what I said in that previous video. On the other side, we have the L, which represents two numbers, the number 50 in Roman numerals and the number 12. The number 50 I had connected to the birthday cake or anniversary cake, whatever it is, in the sense that it's a 50th anniversary of something. Although it isn't a 50th anniversary, we do have the 70th anniversary of NATO coming up on the 3rd of December. So I'm thinking maybe that's where it connects in, but I'm still looking for a 50 reference. These characters are all emphasized with the L being outside of the frame, the 2 being in a sketch mark rather than in color and in bold like the rest of them are, and obviously you have the E over here as well. So with the 3 characters over here being the word go, kind of emphasized with an extra O, you've then got L representing 12, being the 12th letter of the alphabet, and the number 2 above it, and I see that as go 12-2. That could be the warning date. An event could take place on that date, but it could be just the warning date. Donald Trump will be arriving in the UK on that day, so maybe it's somehow connected with that. But December 3rd is when the NATO summit takes place. And although this building, I connected it to the Parliament building and to the White House, it also resembles another building, which is Buckingham Palace. As you can see here, it's got a very similar structure on a 1, 2, 3 in a rectangular shaped building. Going back to the video, you can see it's kind of not exactly the same, but a very similar structure. So looking out for an event around Buckingham Palace, and I've talked about Buckingham Palace before in association with the buck on fire in the wall of the classroom in the iPad Go 2 video. You can go and check that out if you're unfamiliar with it. So I started having a little bit more of a look at Buckingham Palace and NATO on the 3rd of December, and what I found at point number 12 on this list of things taking place during the NATO summit is on the 3rd of December. There's going to be 2 days, 3rd and 4th, but on the 3rd of December, Queen Elizabeth will host a reception at Buckingham Palace for NATO leaders to mark 70 years of the NATO alliance. So where I've been looking out for something to happen to Donald Trump, I've also been looking out for something to happen to the Queen, and that involving some mess in the line of succession where we potentially have Prince Harry coming up as, king, and then his child succeeding after him. Could be Prince William becomes king, and then, obviously there's Prince Charles too, but for some reason I don't see him as wearing the crown for any amount of time. I think that will pass to Prince William. Maybe something happens to him. Excuse me. I'll get to that later. Maybe something happens to him. Obviously something would have to happen to his children as well for Prince Harry and his child to come into the line of succession. But there you go. If there's events like chemical or biological or nuclear bombings going on around London, maybe they get caught up in that, and then Prince Harry and Prince Archie become, king and prince respectively, and then obviously at some point in the future Archie could then become king. Either way, we have the Queen, Donald Trump, world leaders in one room or one place at the same time on the 3rd of December, which we have as a watch date after December the 2nd, which is the warning watch date. It's not so unusual to think that something may happen there. Since 2013, I'll start with that story actually. There's been 3 break-ins So this one, September 2013, 2 men arrested over Buckingham Palace break-in. And then the next one was 3 years later, in May of 2016, where a man was arrested on the Buckingham Palace grounds. And then we get to July 2019, just a couple of months ago, and a man was arrested scaling Buckingham Palace gates. So the security, looking at these reports, isn't all that tight. Now, obviously, that may be different and should be different when it comes to a NATO summit and the fact that we've just had a terrorist attack. I say that with air quotes. It obviously shouldn't happen, but the fact that it's happened 3 times since 2013 gives you a little bit more of an idea, or a little bit more of an indication that something like this could be possible. It may not happen, but the possibility of it happening is there. So that's why I'm making this video, because we are now on, well, I'm now on December the 1st, and obviously, as I said, December the 2nd, it's come up from the 7-Eleven translation and the translation from the number 27, but it could be that that's the warning date, as according to Google, it could be the date to go, as you can see just there. And then we have those two, and then the next day, where we have a similar building to the Buckingham Palace building, something happens which may involve toxic or chemical or biological weapons, as I'm just taking that from the trees when they're upside down, actually looking like green smoke. In fact, in this video, let me see if I actually flip, yeah, there we go. So just so you can see what I'm talking about, I drew a line across here. I think I'll do that a bit later in the video, possibly. But you can see here, the top of the building, when it's this way, the top of the building is gone. The whole sky is green in terms of green smoke. You can see this funnel coming up, down, which, excuse me, obviously when that's the right way around, that's just the path leading up to the building. But that's the trick. You can look at the picture both ways. It's like that picture where it's a rabbit and a duck. You can see the image both ways. It's the same here, with just a line across the middle. We've got a reflection in the water where we could still have a connection to the Parliament building sitting on the River Thames. But the building also looks like Buckingham Palace, where we have all the NATO people, the Queen, meeting on December 3rd, which is a high watch date. So you guys, with that said, I'll leave it there. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.